Hey, Nate, welcome in.
G'day.
How are you?
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. Great. I got to get used to saying that. We talk so
Exactly.
different,
Yep, that's it.
but we'll learn. By the end of the cruise, I'll be talking Australian all the time. I'll come back here and people will be looking at me really.
You'll know what fair income means. You'll know, yeah, quite a few little quirky things that we say here. I'm trying to think of some others really. I might think of them as we chat. But yeah, fair income's an interesting one that you got to be an Aussie to pretty much know what fair income means. So yeah, and a bogan. Not many people know what bogan means.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Oh, geez. How do I describe it? A bogan would be try not to offend anyone. It's like sort of like your lower class kind of like, you know, yeah, like mullet, that kind of, yeah. Ochre, you probably don't know
Maybe
what
you
ochre
should.
means.
Maybe you should stop where you're ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, you'll get to know some pretty cool language that we use here. It's pretty unique a lot of the time.
Wow. So is this your first
So
time? Is this your first time being an admin on a page for a cruise?
it is, yes, never done that before. So as you saw, I would have asked you a few questions like, can I add this person? Can I add this person?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm getting the hang of it, but it's going well. It's pretty exciting when someone wants to come into the page.
You know what? I remember when we first met and you were talking to me on the cruise page and stuff, and you were just like totally like took me under your wing and like I learned so much. And and I see you doing that with other people in the group too, and that's wonderful.
I guess that just comes from I just love like I think Australia is the best country in the world. I love visiting other countries, but you probably know that song. I still call Australia home,
Yeah,
um, and so yeah, it's the best country in the world. I think we're a little bit lucky in some cases that we're so far away from everyone, but it's a little bit unlucky in the sense that not too many people get to come visit us because it is so far away. So it is a
you're
really
right.
unique opportunity when you come to somewhere like this. You know, you pretty much have. You know, you need to spend 3 birthdays on a plane to get here, but once once you're here, it's and you get over the 3 months of jet lag, it's worth it.
Yes.
But
So
yeah,
do
but I
you?
love. Yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say I love showing off Australia. So if I see anyone in the page that like shows any kind of interest in learning more about like Australia and the South Pacific in general, really, I love to talk and if I have time, I'm more than happy to show people around and I understand how expensive and how demanding travel can be. So if I have time, I'm more than happy to just show people around, and I don't expect any payment. I'm just happy to just show off the great place where I live.
Yeah, and he's telling the truth too because he actually took and went. We went all the way down to the Gold Coast, and then we went to the Sunshine Coast, and then we went all the way north up to somewhere else, and like we were all over the place. And it's
Yeah,
funny because
it's yeah. I really enjoy doing it. I love seeing foreigners reactions to some of the places we have here and how they it just really warms me when I see their reactions about that.
right. And then so you all drive on the other side of the road, and your cars are on the other side too. And I kept trying to get in the driver's seat. Remember?
Correct. Yeah, that's a really interesting feature of here in Australia is that yeah, we do drive on the opposite side to North America and probably South America as well. I know France drives on the opposite side, but if you go to like England or like that kind of area, and here we actually drive on the left hand side, so that means that the driver's seat is on the right hand side of the vehicle.
Yes. It's very
So
confusing.
yeah, and more so, it can actually you got to have your wits about you, especially if you're on a busy road, because I've been to America so many times, and I've had some close calls over there because you're looking for the traffic in the different way.
Yeah.
So, like, we're always talk, look to the left, look to the right, look to the left. I guess you guys are talk, look to the right, look to the left, look to the right. So,
Yep. Yep. Yeah. That's
yeah, it's
exactly what we do.
yeah, and one other funny nuance as well. You might notice it when you're like, especially the Americans. Like, I certainly notice it when I'm in America. Is that if you're walking on, we call it a pathway. I think you guys call it a sidewalk.
Yes.
But we'll always walk on the left-hand side of people as they're coming towards us. Whereas I notice when I'm over there, I've got to walk on the right-hand side of people. Like, I go to the left and they go to the left and like let me pass. And I'm like, well, I'm on. This is where I'm meant to be. And then I wrote, oh no, hang on, I'm in America.
And
So
then you're
just
doing
like,
this with them.
yeah. So like two ants, when ants meet and they just sort of like, touch antennas, like what's going on? Yeah. So yeah, I find like little things like that pretty quirky.
That is
So
fun.
just a few. They're just a couple of things to look out for. I was going to actually do the live today from the cruise terminal, but I've got a few things on today, so that's why I'm here. But leading up to it, we'll go to the terminal. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I figure maybe when we get about 2 months out from our cruise, we'll start doing lives every week, and we'll go over all the ports. We'll go over all the stuff that's going on, because I'm sure we're going to have events on the cruise page. I haven't really set it up too much all the way yet, but I'm working on it. I'm
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
getting ready to go to Hawaii next week for 3 weeks. So
Nice.
after I get back, I'll start working more on this page and getting it situated and stuff. But what I wanted to ask you, so when you bring up your cruise, your Carnival cruise site, and it tells you the date that you're leaving, what does your date say?
February 22.
So, because people are getting confused on the page, because I have February 22nd, but that's what
That's
mine's.
it. That's right. February 22.
22?
Yep.
Okay, somebody was questioning me that on the page, and I said I would ask you, but my agenda says the 22nd, 22.
That's right. Yep. 22.
I don't know what they're looking at then. You'll find it on the page.
Yeah. I know I had a bit of confusion at the start, and I think I was just confused in general of the date. Like, I kept thinking it was a different date. I had a different date in my mind. It wasn't that the time difference or anything like that was confused. It was just me in my head. I just had the wrong date. So yeah, no, it's I'm 99.9% sure February 22. I've spoken to my travel agent about it because I've got a couple of things going on with my VIFP number, and so I had to speak to them about it. And I'm 99.9% sure we kept talking about, because it's a Sunday, I believe. No, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be it's a Sunday. Sunday,
Yeah.
22, February 22. Yep. So
Yeah.
yeah. um. Say it.
I was going to say, because today is 22 and we're on Saturday still. So,
That's
but you're
right.
15 hours ahead of us. So,
Mm.
and I'll tell you that is a terrible thing to have to get used to. Remember last night I got to.
And so that's the thing as well. Like, when you leave, like, a lot of people need to be really careful if they're booking flights from the United States to come to Australia. The latest you can leave the United States is the 20th, because you actually lose a day when you cross the international date line to fly into Brisbane. So you'll actually leave on the 20th, and you'll arrive in Brisbane on the 22nd. That's if you're cutting it fine. Me, I would like, that's too fine for me, but that's the very latest you could actually do it. A lot of flights from the United States arrive here in Australia around 5-6 in the morning into Brisbane. So you can do it if all the planets line up and you have a smooth trip. You can arrive the morning of, but that means you need to get the flight from LA or Dallas or San Francisco. They're the three cities that do direct flights to Brisbane. You would need to get a flight on the Friday night to arrive on Sunday morning.
Yikes.
So
Yikes.
yeah, so I might even like just even mention that to people on, like, I might even just type that and leave it
Yeah.
on the page so people understand that you will lose a day, because people, could get tricked into thinking like, and we'll be long gone. Like, if you're right, like if you did that, as I said to you
Right.
before, it's Sunday morning here. We would have already had our first night on the cruise.
Yes. And that's
So
exactly it too. So but I don't know. So you lose a day going, but then you gain it coming back.
correct. So when I'm going to America on Thursday, and I leave at it's around 10 o'clock Thursday morning. I'll fly for like 15 hours, whatever it is, and I then arrive in LA like Thursday morning, like at 8 o'clock. So I
Yeah.
actually arrived before I left, if that
Right.
makes
Isn't that
sense.
funny?
Yeah,
Because
it's crazy.
the last time I had my birthday, the last day I was in Australia, and then I
Yeah.
flew home, and then flew to LA, and then I spent the rest of my birthday in LA. So I
That's
had to
right.
fly.
Still your birthday. Yeah, it's almost like a bit of a Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but like I sometimes feel robbed. Like when I fly back home, and like I remember last time I flew home on December 23, and I got into Brisbane on Christmas morning. But I'm like, I feel so robbed. I've missed Christmas Eve. Like, I don't have that whole nice Christmas Eve thing because I've just missed it. And I remember another time I did the same flight. There was a poor 10-year-old girl who missed her birthday. So
Oh,
her birthday just never existed.
oh, that's
For her,
good.
anyway. Like, for her, it just never existed. so,
Wow. Well, that's
so yeah, you could,
terrible.
yeah. So you can have some funny things like that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, if you want, I was just gonna like have a bit of a chat about Brisbane today, unless you wanted to chat about something else.
There was just a couple more things I wanted to ask
Sure.
you. So that because I've been reading on some other pages about your flights called Jetstar. Is that
Mm-hmm.
like the lower end flight?
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you recommend? Do you recommend um Qantas or do you recommend Virgin? Or,
Qantas, there's three main carriers here in Australia. There's Qantas, Virgin, and Jetstar. Pre-COVID, there are a few other budget airlines, but they've since like gone post-COVID. Jetstar is actually owned by Qantas, but it is their budget carrier. So if you have carry-on kind of luggage, it's your best bet. Yeah, it's I mean, as I said, it's a low budget airline. You won't, get all the little trimmings that you get with Qantas. Um, there's nothing like the only like you just got to be careful with your luggage and your charges. But even when you add on your luggage charges, it will probably still be significantly cheaper than going Qantas. Qantas is an all-in-one kind of fare. Like, you just pay that, and they go the little extra. Like, you might get, like, even though it's pretty not the best, you might get some sort of snack and a coffee complimentary on the flight. Whereas like something with Jetstar, if you want to get any snacks or drinks on the plane, you'll have to pay for it.
okay, so
Virgin, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say because that's who I flew as Virgin,
Yep.
and that's part of Delta, who is
Yeah. So
what you
yeah.
usually
So
fly.
Virgin is code-share with Delta. But Virgin here is also very similar to Qantas in that it's all in one. Like, say you get your luggage included, and you'll get like I'm pretty sure, like, it's been a while since I've flown Virgin, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure you probably just you might get a complimentary drink. I don't think you get food on Virgin.
Oh,
So
did they
yeah.
do that? Because I mean, well, that was pre-COVID, so I think we got a couple snacks, but it was overnight. Like most of the people were sleeping except for me because I can't sleep on the plane, so I'm like this.
Oh, yeah, but if you're talking international, that's a whole other different ball game. That will all be included.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm talking domestic flights here.
Oh, okay. I was talking
Yes.
international.
No, well, Jetstar doesn't fly to the United States.
Okay.
They fly to Hawaii, I think that's the closest, which obviously is United States, but they don't go to mainland United States. They go to some neighboring Asian countries and New Zealand, but that's it. They don't have they don't go to Europe, and they don't go to like North American cities such as LA or
Okay.
Dallas or San Francisco. So theoretically, you won't get a Jetstar flight from mainland US. So from mainland US, you're looking at American Airlines, Delta, United, Qantas, Air New Zealand if you want to go via New Zealand. There's also Air Fiji if you want to go via Fiji. So there's a few options heading that way. Cheapest, you're probably looking at even Air Canada. Like if you fly via Vancouver, I'm going to Las Vegas next week via Vancouver. So Vancouver Air Canada in the last couple of years has had some really competitive rates.
Okay. What do you think is the best the most comfortable seats? Like what flight would you say? Because that's a long flight.
So
And
you're saying if I'm going economy flying like to to choose a seat, or are you talking about an actual like?
yeah, like an economy
Okay.
seat.
Like to be honest, I think they're all like six one half a dozen the other really. Like it's really hard to sort of say when it comes to economy that one's better than the other. But having said that, I'll tell you a quick little story. I actually flew to London a couple of years ago, and I went on what's at the time was the second longest flight in the world, and it's a flight that goes from Perth to London direct. It takes
Oh,
18 hours, not 18 hours non-stop.
oh my
And I had an economy seat, and my seat actually had a wall. There was no window, so I just had
oh,
to. I'll send you a photo. It's hilarious. And so I just had this wall to look at for 18 hours. And then it was actually a pretty big trip. I was actually traveling right around the world. It was the first trip I did that went right around the world. And so then one of my flights was then as I was done with Europe and I was heading to North America, and I was actually heading to Calgary. My flight from London to Calgary was also in a 787, and I got the wall seat again. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this like some sort of candid camera prank? It was a completely different row number. It was a completely different area of the plane. But
that's
again, I
terrible.
had the wall seat.
Oh,
So yeah, when it comes to economy seats, I think you can really only choose differences between airlines. If you're looking at the upper class seats like first class and business class, you'll
right.
see a noticeable difference with the different airlines.
Because I actually thought somebody in the chat said they're going to fly American over um,
Yeah.
Scott. Now, Scott is actually, I think he's a mod on our page because he's going to be coming from the States also. So
Okay.
we got a handful of state people coming over. So I'm kind of
Yeah, it's
excited.
exciting. Like I'm going to be in my element. Like I'll just be talking about Australia nonstop for 2 weeks. So I'm going to love it.
That's
I,
awesome.
oh, we were meant to do the Tim Tams. I forgot my Tim Tams.
Tim Tams, yeah. You know what? I have some downstairs.
Yeah, and I forgot mine. So next live, we'll do the Tim Tam slams.
Yeah.
I'll
So,
take some Vegemite on board. It's funny, the Carnival ships actually have
oh,
Vegemite. It's pretty funny.
it's terrible. That is the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. And I
It's
still remember
funny.
what it tastes like.
So yeah, so with airlines, it just comes down to I would just go for I would look at the luggage allowances. A lot of the airlines now are just letting you only take one like checked
Okay.
bag.
Okay.
So I'd look at that. Yeah. I'd also I was just going to throw in one little quick hint while I think of it, because I might not remember it in the next live we do. In that this time of year in Australia, we're coming towards the end of our summer, which is also still like I live in a subtropical environment, but the further north you go, it becomes more tropical, as opposed to where you are, further south you go. So,
Right.
and it's actually, we call them cyclones, you call them hurricanes. So we're actually coming towards the end. So our cruise will still be in cyclone slash hurricane season. And I remember I did a cruise in 2019 where our cruise had to be diverted a little bit. We actually missed a port because of a cyclone that wasn't too far away from us. So I want people just to bear in mind that the weather's always, plays a part. And depending on how serious it is, that Carnival could divert us south.
Right.
And so if we end up going to places like Tasmania or New Zealand, it could get pretty cold. So I wouldn't pack a whole lot of warm clothes because you're thinking, oh, geez, I'm going to Australian summer. It's going to be so warm. But I would, pack something just in case.
Yeah, I think I'll probably start checking the weather like a couple weeks out just to be sure.
Yeah. It still can because we're out there for like I think it's 12 nights.
Right.
Cyclones can fire up in like a few days. So, but it's just a thought I had just at that time of year. So, do you have next question?
Let's see. So I was thinking about flying to Hawaii and staying there a couple days or so, and then
Yeah,
coming
nice.
back. And so I might end up doing that. I haven't decided just yet, but
Yeah. So you won't
yeah.
have to worry about that whole international. I'm pretty. Oh no, you will. You'll still cross the date line. So you wouldn't have crossed the date line by that stage. So you'll still lose a day. But it's about 9 hours from Hawaii to Brisbane, from Honolulu to Brisbane.
Oh, that's so much better than 14.
And see, however you do it. I mean, Jetstar does fly from. If people are thinking of that option, you get a pretty cheap flight flying from Jetstar from. Come to think of it, though, Jetstar doesn't fly Honolulu to Brisbane direct. They go Honolulu to Sydney, and then Sydney you'd you'd have to catch a transit plane up to Brisbane.
Oh, that's too much flying. I'll have to figure that out. And I don't I don't like all those stops, and then your chance of losing your luggage.
Same. They're actually starting next year. They are going to start flights from Sydney to New York direct.
Really?
It's going to take 22 hours nonstop.
Oh, forget that.
Well, you were talking about wanting direct, so you can't get better than that, really.
I wonder if they have stuff to put you out for 20 of those hours.
Yeah.
The one thing I do like about the international flights is that you don't run into a lot of turbulence. It's pretty smooth.
Yeah, it can be quite smooth. Yep, absolutely.
So, okay, I think that's all I had on the plane travel information. So, you wanted to talk about Brisbane?
Oh, look, I was just going to mention a couple of things. A lot of people might not know. It's interesting. If I'll see people on the page or whatnot, and a lot of people don't know a lot about Brisbane.
Right.
And but in about, what are we now? So in about 7 years' time, the whole world will know Brisbane because the Summer Olympics will be here after LA.
Oh, that's awesome.
So 2028 is Los Angeles, and then 2032 is Brisbane. So the whole world is coming to Brisbane in 2032. Right. So if you make a good friend with me, you might have somewhere to stay if you want to go to the Olympics.
I think I qualify as a good friend.
Yeah, there you go. I got plenty of room. It's a lovely city. It's a very easy city to get around. I've spoken about what would be a good lead up for the group to do, like 24 hours before we go. There's a great entertainment precinct. Sport. It's a real bummer the time of year that we go. Our football season will actually start while we're away, but when we come back, we could potentially catch a football game. Excuse me. We even there's lots of great restaurants. We've had a brand new casino open, which is just incredible. It's called Queen's Wharf. It looks right over the Brisbane River. There's lots and lots of history that we can explore as well. Plus, the Golden Sunshine Coast is you've got the Gold Coast, which is about an hour south. Then you've got the Sunshine Coast, which is an hour north.
Yep.
Plenty of hiking, plenty of natural things to see. I know you're a fan of Steve Irwin's Zoo, but I'm not a fan of Steve Irwin's Zoo.
But I've already
I'm more
been
than
there, so
happy
I'm
to.
okay with not going.
What's that?
I said I've already been there. I went the last time, so I'm okay with not going.
Yeah. But it also takes a fair bit of time to get there. But there's another sanctuary, like koala sanctuary, not very far, like pretty much in Brisbane. So it's a lot more accessible for people that are staying in Brisbane to get to.
Okay.
So yeah, so no, I'm really excited. You can even like get as you went over to Moreton Island, there people that love their scuba and their snorkeling want to get a bit of a taste of it before we go to the South Pacific. There's some great places there to snorkel, and they've
Yes.
actually got man-made wrecks. So they deliberately sunk these ships that have created an artificial reef, and they're very shallow where they are. Like the ships actually like stick out of the water a bit, and
Right.
so it's easier to swim around, but you can have your snorkel on. You just see millions of fish everywhere and turtles and all that kind of stuff. It's just great. Incredible beaches. Yeah, lots and lots of stuff. You won't shut me up. If you ask me a question about Brisbane and Australia, yeah, you won't shut me up.
You know what? I did that. I snorkeled those rocks, and
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Tangalooma Rex, they're called.
it was. It took a long time to get out there, though. Was I?
Uh, oh, you must have gone on it. Like, there's some pretty faster boats. So depending on the type of boat it took you to get there. I used to, when I had a jet ski, I could jet ski from the mainland to the Rex in about 25 minutes.
Ah, I
Yeah.
think I remember
So
you telling me that we could go out there, but I just didn't have the time. I didn't spend a whole lot of time before or after the cruise.
yeah.
You know.
So I know a few people are looking at spending time before and after, and even perhaps visiting some neighbouring countries. So even if you want to spend some more time, like back in Fiji or New Zealand is just absolutely incredible.
I need to do that.
Yeah, New Zealand is amazing. A lot of people are thinking of even going to Bali. Not really my cup of tea, but very cheap, and that's a
Oh,
like an
where's
Aussie pill.
Kelly?
What's
Now
that?
you're talking my talk. Where's Kelly? Where's Kelly?
It's not really my thing. I'm not a fan. Like it's yeah, like I'm not that great a fan of the like third world kind of Asian countries. But it's very cheap. And a lot of people are actually going there to get suits, so you can get tailor-made suits there really, really cheap. So I know a
Hmm.
few people have been asking me questions about that as well. So
How far
yeah.
of a flight is that?
Here from Brisbane to Denpasar would be about 6 hours.
That is nothing. Oh, I have to keep
So
that in
yeah,
mind.
but I mean, if we've got some people in the group that are going to Bali, I'll be like, all right, I've never been. I might as well go and do this pilgrimage. And I have some friends that go that they've been to Bali like probably 30 times. They just know. So I've got a lot of knowledge at hand if there are people wanting to go. I mean, you can get your own villa with your own pool there for next to nothing.
No.
Um,
Wow.
so so yeah, it's really, really cheap in Bali.
Huh. Okay. Well, that
But yeah.
that might be another trip to down there. Down
All
under.
right. Well, I suppose I've bored people long enough.
Right.
Do
Oh, let me just ask you a couple different things right here. So, gratuities, because a lot of Americans don't understand that there are no gratuities there. So you don't tip, right? Am I correct? Or do they
correct.
teach
You
you?
don't tip. On the cruise, like you don't tip. The only thing I do is I'll tip my steward. And
Okay.
how I normally do it, I'll throw on $50 at the start of the cruise, and then I throw on $50 at the end of the cruise. Like if they've done a good job. So I try and get
Right.
on their good side and try and get that like upper level of service by tipping straight off.
Right.
To give them the idea, hey, this guy's going to be, worth my while spending an extra bit of time on. And then I tip at the end. But as far as people bringing you drinks, any of that, you don't have to tip. You don't tip. Like for me, it's kind of weird. Like, and I actually find it, yeah, like I know you can write on the sheet, but it's not considered rude at all just to put a line through it and not tip. And even like when people tip cash, I find it really like just sort of, I don't know if annoying's the word, but when I'm in America, I've always got to make sure I've got little notes on these. Oh crap, I got a tip again. That's right. Whereas don't have to worry
I
about it
don't.
here.
We tip for everything over here.
I know. And, like I've already got my cash ready to go. Like, see, like, uh, here they are, ready to go when I get there.
Oh,
So,
we even got American dollars.
well, that's right. I'm going there on Thursday, so I've got to make sure I've got my money ready to go to tip.
Wait, oh, I'm gonna have mine before I get there. The bank here doesn't charge me; they just charge the rate. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'll have enough there. But and then just one more thing, and then I'll let you get back to your day because I know you're just
Yep.
starting it. Um,
Yep.
so do you guys hide the ducks? Do you hide ducks on your
Sorry, I
cruise?
missed it. Oh
Ducks.
yeah, for sure. I actually found one. I went on Quantum of the Seas last couple of weeks ago, and yeah, there were ducks on there. I'm never that good at finding them, but yeah. Did you know that's actually started by an Australian?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, it was started in Australia.
Oh, I gotta
If
show
you,
you.
yeah, you have to Google the origin of the ducks.
So I thought I had some around here. I have some. So I'm going on that cruise next week, and I'm gonna hide little Jesuses.
Nice.
Thank you. But then I have little ducks that I glue together and I put them on a dice, and I call them lucky ducks. And so
Yeah,
many
right.
of those over, and but I don't want to bring a whole bunch of stuff over because I got to be careful now with the luggage thing.
Yeah, travel light. There's like I can like if you and that's the thing and this goes for anyone on the cruise. If you've forgotten something, just let me know. Like I might not be able to take a whole group of you somewhere, but if someone's forgotten one thing, I know where the cheap shops are. If you just need something and don't spend a fortune at a tourist shop, just let me know and I can take you. I'm also happy to be like one of the last to actually check in on the ship so that if anyone is stranded somewhere, I can go and get them. It might be tricky if they've got a fair bit of luggage, but I'm happy to do that as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you know what? I might take you. I was talking to Michelle, the one that lives in Brisbane,
Yeah.
and she said, I think she said you were about 35 minutes from her or something, and she's offered for me to stay there with
Yeah,
her. And
nice.
I might do that, yeah. And that
Yeah.
way we could all just kind of go do on a tour.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So, okay.
Right. Well, I do need to get going. I've got
All
a
right.
gazillion jobs to get done today. It's my Sunday and work tomorrow, so I got to get all the jobs done before. It'll be much nicer this time next year when I'm waking up on the Luminosa. We'll have to have a
That's
chat
right.
about Luminosa next time we chat.
Yeah, we got a lot of differences we need to go over for the American
Yeah.
cruises to the Australia cruises. So,
Yeah, correct.
all
All
right.
right, well, it's you take care. I don't even know if anyone is watching this, but if they
Yeah,
are, goodbye.
yeah, we have about we had like 16 or 18 people in.
All right, okay. I'm glad you can see because I can't. I don't know. All right, take care. I'll talk to you later on. Do I just hit
Well,
leave now?
yeah, you can just jump right out, and then I'm gonna do the outro and all that kind of stuff. So, all
All right, take care. See ya.
right, Byron. All right, well, there you have it. That was our admin in the group for the Australian cruise, which is leaving 1 year from today out of Brisbane. And it's a South Pacific cruise. And we're going to, oh gosh, all over the place. We're going to Fiji and Vanuatu and just so many different places on that cruise. So 1 year from today, we're going to start the live streams for that probably a couple months out. So maybe November-ish of this year. And hi, Sissy. How are you? Sonus is in the house. Yeah, we're getting ready to close up for the night. And Byron's got to start his day because it's actually tomorrow in Australia right now. So it's like 8:30 in the morning tomorrow in Australia. So, hey, Kevin, how are you? Thanks for coming in. Thanks for sharing me out. Barry's in the house. Thank you. Thank you. And Scott had to take off. And here's to all the other ones that were in here. So, other than that, everybody have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you the next time. Oh, Monday, live stream for Hawaii group, Monday at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see you then. All right, until the next time.